Hi, and welcome to another episode of Wine and Wisdom. I'm Thomas Le Hoang, and you're listening to the TL podcast, where knowledge is shared and no one takes themselves too seriously. All right, come on. Where's the next bottle now? So we've had our two bottles.
Hang on.
They were amazing. Let's have a look at the garage ones.
I'll show you the little label on the front. It says cellar release.
Okay.
Garage release.
Garage release. Essence of mobile.
Repco sponsoring the supercars from now on, mate. This is a Repco release. Yeah, mate. Fuck.
Finish your wine, Cam. You're letting the team down.
You said this wasn't going to be nice, Thomas. As long as it's honest, I don't care if it's nice. This next one.
This is a Capsa for sure. All right, cheers, boys. We haven't
picked one yet.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Why has it got so many bubbles? This soft drink. It's a blend. I don't think it's a Cab Sav because there's something just after it, right at the end.
So to recap, if anyone who doesn't know.
It's a Capsa from Barossa Valley. How do you call it? Barnaby's? Or what would be that brand?
Give up. It's not that.
I don't think it's... I'm not saying this because it's a Cristinola wine. I think it's a bit... I don't think it's got a lot of structure to it. Huh? Drops off, huh?
Actually, it hasn't breathed enough.
It's been open for an hour.
No. It needs more time. I reckon he's got a good wine. I think it's one of those that's got...
I think it's a Cab Merlot. I'm going Cab Merlot again because it's a bit smoother than a Cab Sav. And I know Danola, and I'm just using... I'm going to use my detective skills now. He mentioned 2013 earlier twice, so I'm going to say it's 2013 because he's using his own wine as reference for everybody else's. So Cab Merlot 2013.
Cab Merlot 2013's Cam's answer. Where from? Here we go.
Knowing you...
I'd be happy with the country.
Barossa Valley.
He said I'd be happy with the country, so he's trying to throw us off Australia. Who else does Cabernet Merlot? Oh, I'll stay Australia. I think you're trying to throw me off. McLaren Vale.
Mr. T?
That's Barossa.
I don't know. Yeah. What do I know about wine?
Same shit.
Yeah. I'm here for my good looks.
Cab Sav.
Cab Sav. Well, is that your answer?
Yeah.
What year?
2017.
All right.
It's young.
It's from New Zealand. And it's a little bit of a different wine, actually. It's a blend of 4 grapes. It's got a Merlot. It's got a Cab Franc.
2011.
It's got a Cab Sav and a Malbec. So it's a 2011.
So it's got everything except Merlot in it. Yeah, that was good. I'm on fire.
Everything except Merlot. No, it's got Merlot. Merlot,
no,
Cab Franc, Cab Sav, and Malbec.
I could definitely taste the Cab and the Merlot.
It's 2011, and it comes from New Zealand. It's a wine called Craggy Range. The funny thing, it's called the Kahu, and it's Maori. And I looked up the word. It's called Te Kahu. Te Kahu means the hawk. But then I looked up the word Kahu, and it means to put your clothes on. So it depends on whether you're before the wine or after the wine. So... we'll see how we go. You like that?
I love it.
It's not as good as mine. Just saying.
I think it's a pretty good one.
I don't know. How do we pick?
Bullshit.
No, but...
we pick every week. Don't say, how do you pick? We pick every week. Fucking throw me that crap.
Sorry, mate. Mine was the lightest. And from the bottle, I could see the lightest. But that did not mean that it was not the most structured.
I think mine was...
At the moment, I'd be giving it to yours, King.
It lasted. Mine didn't drop off at all. Did it? I'm not just saying this because it's mine. I can free to admit when I don't win, but I'm winning.
Unlike the race.
It's going to be very hard to beat
Charlotte.
Cabs and Shirazes and all that sort of stuff with a Pinot. Just because
it's
of the...
better now. Just saying.
Yeah, well...
we've done well this week, boys. 3 good wines. It'd be very hard to pick the winner, but it'd be very much harder to pick the loser.
What was the price tag on yours?
We'll save that till we pick the winner or the loser, mate.
Oh, he's breaking the rules.
No, dude, who said that?
Oh,
Who said that?
Why are you going red all of a sudden? Your
I'm
blood
going red,
pressure's
mate.
going up, mate.
No, because we're about to talk to the bet and I'm fired up.
So what was the bottle of your wine? The price of your wine?
Yeah, well, here is what happened when we went to his place on the weekend.
Cameron got called in.
Cameron, for the last few years, been going, I might be fat, but nobody can run faster than me. And I'm sure it is one of these things that he had to do with his wife in order to add some favor. And so when he brought it up, he did not expect that you were going to take him on, Chris.
Oh, no, Wednesday's full of shit.
So when you
Hang on. Take me on. He didn't take me on in a running race. No, he threw someone else under the bus.
I get it, but he
Hang
took
on,
the
you
bet.
set the bet. You set the bet.
You said the bet.
I took the bet.
Yeah,
you
no,
said
I
it.
don't
Oh, fucking
You
take
said
it. I took
$1,000.
And
No,
me, I
you said it.
was very disappointed with you boys because I thought, here are two brothers. They're going to take money of each other. Until you offered $500 to Charlotte, I said, "No, go for it. Get more out of this bastard." Right? So the bet here is this, very simple. On is it the second? Or is it the first?
No, it's going to have to be the 30th because the conference
Is it the
starts on
Thursday?
Sunday.
Is it the Thursday?
The Sunday before.
Oh,
No,
it's a
we have
Monday.
to do it.
On the 1st of December.
Right, the Monday
We are
afternoon.
going to be Facebooking live the race of the century. The race between the earth-moving Matador versus Lightning.
McQueen.
And yes, and that's going to be the race between 175 kilos Cam versus 47 kilos Charlotte.
Mate, you don't even
And
have
the
to
bet-
exaggerate.
And the bet was $1,000. Now, Chris actually pushed for $2,000, but Cameron thought, if I'm going to lose, let's actually cut our losses.
Mitigate the losses, mate.
Make sure that I don't lose more than $1,000 because my wife's looking at me right now.
I'm gonna
with
make-
eyes that says, "Mate, you got to be punished for the next few weeks."
I'm going to make the money back on the movie rights. It's okay.
So
Christmas will
No,
be
hang on.
shit.
Let's talk about what really happened,
your
right?
ego was inflamed.
Yeah,
bastard.
let's talk about what really happened. How long ago? Probably 6-7 months ago, sitting at the Hoang dining table. And we've got 28-year-old Alex and 27-year-old Charlotte and the twin 12-year-olds talking smack constantly. And I just piped up and said, I'll beat you all over 50. You were there. You heard it.
Yeah.
And they all looked at me and they saw the unshakable belief in my eyes and the steely look and the composure. And they went, I reckon he can run. We're not taking that bet. No one took the bet.
No, you're
you don't
wrong.
have
That's where
to.
you're wrong.
You don't have to exaggerate.
You're
I'm
wrong.
I'm 130
My children
kilos.
have been brought up to never insult our guests.
Nah, bullshit. Bullshit.
Right,
All they do is insult me. The whole thing's an insult. Jesus Christ. So he doesn't have to exaggerate. It's not 175 kilos, but it is 130. It is on blood pressure medication and cholesterol medication. It hasn't run for 6 years. He doesn't have to exaggerate. But no one would take me on over 50. So, yes, on the weekend when we're sitting around and I brought the fact up and Danola, after a few, maybe too many drinks, says, I'll bet you $1,000. Charlotte, who's sitting there saying nothing, mind you, Charlotte, because she doesn't want to run me. She knows I'm fast, mate. She knows how fast I am. Doesn't
You
want to
brought
race.
Charlotte up, not me.
Right?
It
$1,000.
wasn't me who brought Charlotte up. You
So
said,
then-
I'll beat Charlotte over 100
So
metres.
then Charlotte pipes up and says, but I own running spikes. Well, guess what, sister? It's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. It's on in 6 weeks. I've already
Then
trained
when
once.
I was pointing once. When I was pointing the two fingers
trained
up, going,
once.
let's go 2,000. You're like,
No. And
Well,
I said to my
what
wife,
if I
no, it wasn't. I had to be conscious
Crystal,
of.
can I please spend your
I had to
$1,000?
be conscious of spending the life savings. But afterwards, after you'd all stumbled out of my house, I said to her, I go, what do you reckon? She said, over 50, not a problem in the world. I can't remember the exact words she used, but it meant fast. She said, you smash them over 50 metres. Even in my current state, she said, over 100, you're a fucking idiot. You're going to tear everything. You're going to break everything. How are you going to make 100 metres?
I'm going to look you in the eye. I love you like a brother. And I
Yeah,
say
but
this
that's
on radio.
no, but that's Crystal. That's Crystal's way of saying you don't last more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, no. She knows. Hey. Built for speed. I'm the guy who comes in at the end of the porno and just... Mate, I'm the guy who comes in at the end of the porno and just finishes it off. That's all, mate. I'm built for speed. I'm telling you. So we can't let Charlotte know, but I'm taking it very seriously. I'm making a documentary out of it. I've got a filmmaker lined up.
So you're really a premature runner.
He starts before the gun goes off.
You saw me run down the street that day. It takes me about 20 metres to get going. I'm good for about 40, and then I start to taper off. That's why I've always said beat me over 50, not 100. So now I've just got to extend the longevity, which I'm sure the wife will be grateful for too.
So let me
if
just
I could
clarify,
go for a little bit longer.
It was you that said that you'd beat Charlotte over 100.
I said I'll beat anyone, mate.
You said you
My usual bet's 50. I don't know where 100 came from, but if I said it, that's fine.
and I looked at you and I've gone, no fucking way in the world.
Because you know what it
You
is,
said
mate?
over 400, by the way. First.
No, never.
And then we went easy.
No.
And we reduced it.
No.
You said 400.
Because you know what's boring about 50, mate? If it was 50 metres, I wouldn't have to train. Now it's 100, I actually have to do something about it. Because 50, anyone can last 4 seconds. Now the beautiful thing about my training
You're
is
trying to tell me you can do 50
must,
metres in 4 seconds.
Charlotte must weigh about 50 kilos.
Let's
right?
do two bets.
She's not going to get any lighter, mate. So as I'm training, it's like me running with a bunch of sandbags on. By the time it's ready for the race,
Right.
130 kilos will be 110 probably. And it'll be like doing all your training with a sandbag over your back and then being aerodynamically ready to go 20 kilos lighter on the day of the event.
And still
Keep
seeing the
down me.
finishing picture.
No,
of
keep
Charlotte
down me.
back
Cam,
in
if I
front
were,
of you.
if I were
Keep
you, I
down
would
me.
try to be lighter, not aerodynamic. It's not going to work.
Keep doubting me.
But
and if-
lighter, 20 kilo lighter. This is my thing.
I think you
Where-
could start a book. Anyone else wants
we
to back
talk-
against me, go for it. But anyone
We're
wants
talking
to...
about wine and wisdom. Where's the wisdom of trying to take on such a bet? Come on, where's the wisdom?
I challenged you guys to a weight loss challenge 2 months ago. The only way I'm ever going to get my body into shape is to have something physical to aim for. So, you know what? Give me all the bets in the world. I got a challenge yesterday to a boxing match, but I said I've got to get the 100-metre sprint out of the way first. It's the only way. It's going to cost. It's not a bet, the boxing match. It's a gym that runs a boxing program for 12 weeks, but you got to pay $700 for the privilege, and then you have a fight at the end of it. And I said, let me get the sprint out of the way first. Where's the wisdom? No, because you never let the truth get in the way of a good story, mate. What a story. The greatest sporting comeback in rugby league history. The former captain of the...
to improve yourself compared to somebody else.
It's not compared to anybody.
Yes,
it's
absolutely. You have to beat someone.
Yeah, I'm going to crush her. I'm not going to beat her, mate. I'm going to crush, kill, destroy.
So where's that wisdom,
Right.
man?
And I'm going to spend $1,000 on a banner that flies through the air that says crush, kill, destroy, and I'm going to address it to Danola. I'm the former captain of the Tukli Kookaburras under-14Bs cricket side. It's going to be the greatest sporting
Under
comeback.
14 Bs. That was only, how many years for you?
24.
24 years
24.
ago? Yeah, rightio.
I took a photo yesterday, the protein shake I was drinking.
$2
It was
grand
right
still
next to the...
$2,000 bet still there.
And Charlotte said to me today, she said, I don't even care, it's not my $1,000. What about getting beat by a 38-year-old fat spastic? That's gonna hurt. That's worth more than $1,000.
That's what that is our training every day.
How are
Our
you going
training
to
every day is as we sit around as a family, we go, you're not gonna have that. Have a look at that. There's no Formula One aerodynamics to this. Okay?
No, so the way
that cannot beat you.
The
okay?
way you've got to look at me is I'm like Williams, right? Under the engine, I've got a real fast engine. The speed's there. The aerodynamics and the reliability, nowhere to be seen. So what we've got to work on is the chassis, because the engine's good. The power unit, it's there, mate. The power unit's there. We're not the Mercedes yet, but give us 6 weeks in development in the wind tunnel, right? And what you'll see on the 1st of December is going to be one of the greatest sporting stories of the year. In a year where we need it. We need the Aussie battler to win, people.
So
listen.
Mate, she's as Aussie as you,
Yeah,
you prick.
but you know what? This Aussie's in a single garage in friggin' Carryong hitting a punching bag, and that Aussie's at Glenorrhy with the whole Australian Institute of Sport at her disposal, right? They've probably flown in private coaches from Uzbekistan who are specialists in... Don't worry, you'll probably they'll get on the Russian supplement program. Don't worry about that. But me lying on my couch with a foam roller just trying to stretch my cars, we're going to do it. I'll do it for all you underdogs out there. Don't worry. I'm not letting the man win this one, not one little bit.
You know what? If I put the bet out to the underdogs, they'll be ringing me up going, I'll have a piece of that action.
Mate, I'll beat you for free. Mate, I hope we get phone calls after this because the more on the table, mate, the faster I'll go. Don't even worry about it.
Anyway, I said it on Sunday that it was not very fair because the race that you're going to have is actually about 4 weeks after the Melbourne Cup. And I've always said this, even you took a donkey and you trim its ears to look like a horse, it's not going to win.
The Cameron Cup.
Don't worry, mate. I just hate to be on the losing end of that. Look. Now here's the thing: if I lose, everyone's going to go, "Yeah, we'll saw that happening." But what if I win? What if I win?
I'll be your biggest.
What if I win?
I'll be your biggest
We'd
fan,
be your admirer,
I'm the
mate.
bloke. I said
be
I
your
was
biggest
going to get
fan,
into
mate.
real estate. My best friend on the planet said you'll be broke in 3 months, and now I own 2 offices. What if I win?
I'll be your biggest
What
fan,
if
mate.
I
But
win?
I reckon your best friend could actually make a lot of money now by betting against you on that day. Does he know?
Do we need St. John's ambulance on standby?
I'll be ready to go, mate.
Okay.
I'll make 100
Be
metres.
ready to go, but 10 metres into the race, do we need like
My
first
worry
aid?
is no.
Do we need like the
Yeah,
revive
mate.
machine?
All those jokes aside, the science is this: as long as I'm ahead by a lot after 60 metres, I don't know if she can run me down. I'll be slower after the 60. I'm going to be in trouble. So the thing is, I have to be ahead. If I'm not ahead by halfway, I've lost. That's the science
If
of
you
it.
have her at 50 metres, you may have a chance. I don't even think you'll have her at 50
I bet my
metres.
house over at 50 metres.
I won't take that because I don't want to see your family destitute.
No, the whole surprise throughout my entire
Do you want to say it again?
rugby league career
Bet
was
my house at... So your house versus $1. Hey, so your house versus $1.
the whole thing was, mate,
House for $1.
built for speed.
So you're not
I'm
going
not
to
bet for $1.
betting for $1. What? House for $1?
Your house versus mine.
No, well, you're so confident in your ability that you'll have
Over
her-
50 metres.
your house
mate.
at 50
Yeah.
metres.
The race is 100 metres, so it's irrelevant.
We can always have side bets.
If you want to have
Ladbrokes
if
allow
people-
this into this
they
into
can have,
this.
They can have a multi. Cam to win over
Have a
50 and
multi.
over 100.
Your house into $1,000.
Mate, I'm into $1,000. I'm already into it. Right?
No, so here's the problem.
Oh, actually,
we have listeners who have been listening to us, and we're approaching the 100 podcast, and they saying, well, for the wine that these guys been drinking, the wisdom has to be huge now. And we're talking shit now. For the first time in my life, do you know what I've been thinking of more than anything? Where's the nearest hospital?
It's okay.
Do we go for paramedics to be there on site?
That's what I'm saying.
And I've been thinking of all this shit. What are you doing, mate? There are things we don't need to be doing.
I do need to do it. He made a bet. I'll take the bet.
No. You made the bet. I accepted it. Let's
So
be clear.
people are listening to us and saying, these boys don't have any wisdom. They've got a lot of wine. So
take it sober.
wisdom is very simple, people. Is knowing what you can do and what you can't, and knowing the difference between the two.
Right.
Right now, we are now a third podcast for the day. So it's unlikely we know the difference between the two.
Let's have a little side bet then. All right? Little side bet.
here's
It's
a
not going
side
to
bet.
involve many. If I win, given what you two have just gone on about paramedics and ambulances and all that sort of stuff, you guys have to do this podcast after the race in a uniform of my choosing.
No.
All right? Yep. No, you're that confident. You're telling me
No.
we're going to need ambulances and we've got no wisdom.
I have told you already,
No.
my father almost lost my entire inheritance
Yeah, I'm not talking about
through
money.
gambling, and I'm not gambling. Not even any gambling. Do you know why? Because no matter what happens.
So you sit here, you defame me. I'm
I-
actually
I
thinking
did- I
of starting a
didn't defend you.
lawsuit.
I am very
right?
upset.
We're
with you.
talking about the paramedics
concerned
and
about
I'm
our
very
no,
upset
this is
that
good.
You,
This is good. You sit here and do this. You sit here and do this.
shit like
You
this.
sit here. I can run.
I
The wisdom
cannot-
is I can run.
I cannot
Forrest,
believe.
I can't. That's my nickname at footy was Gump. Not only were my knees as high as his, I ran as fast as him. I can run, people. You've seen it. After 14
No, I
litres
did
of
sit.
alcohol.
I did sit.
ran your children down the street.
No, because they didn't see you
Yes,
run. When they turned around, it was too late for you to take off.
Yeah, well, don't worry. When Charlotte turns around, it's going to be too late. All right.
No, so this is the thing that I take out of this.
The
Please.
wisdom is, if you want to do something in life, go do it. Don't listen to the naysayers. So what if you're 130
I agree with that.
kilos?
I agree with that. If you think that you want to do something, go and do it. But you don't have to bet. Your life and your actions, your achievement does not have to be gauged against anybody else. It's just about you doing it.
Yeah,
Right?
and winning. Or losing. Either way, it's going to make a great movie.
Anyway, mate, now here it is. If you truly believe in yourself, Chris has been trying to up it to $2,000 since Sunday.
Yeah, it's not all my money, mate. So if Crystal wants to up it to $2,000, she can.
Okay, but
I've thrown $1,000 out there without consulting
Chris, I'm
anybody.
sure you'll take $1,000 over 2 quarters.
No.
2 quarters.
No, $1,000.
Well, it's more than he's made.
No, $2,000 over 2 quarters.
Oh, yeah, you can do that.
You'd be okay with that,
I've
wouldn't
got
you?
No problem with that.
So because like he says the other 1,000 is Chris.
But I just
Crystal.
want to point out a fact.
I'll take it out of my commission.
When I made the bet, Cameron kept asking me, is my wife okay with spending her money? That was a question that you kept throwing at me. I kept ignoring because I know you're trying to get a bite. Now you're hiding behind the
No, just ask.
skirt
I'm at least asking her.
And there is a
You
reason
didn't
her,
even-
her nickname is the Iron Curtain.
And if your wife's the one,
Margaret Thatcher.
if your wife's the one that bought the shirt, maybe she's not as well off as we thought, mate.
No, I think we're going to have to be very careful. And this is a good thing
How
for
could you
salespeople.
turn
This is a
a
good
100-metre sprint into a serious subject? Come on.
This is a good thing for salespeople. You have got your ability. Go on your ability. Do not bet against anyone. Don't let your ego get involved. This is what you've done, man.
Didn't let me go. I see it as easy money. There's nothing to
Then
do with
if
ego.
It was easy money. He gave you
Listen,
easier money.
if he'd bet me $100,000 that I could ride a horse better than Charlotte, I wouldn't have taken the bet. She rides horses. I run. That's what I do. I'm either running at you or I'm running past you. There's no running away. So when someone says $1,000, and when I've been challenging people for 6 months and no one would take it, and when I said that at your table, there was no money on. I just said, I bet I'll beat you over 50. There was no money. I just wanted to race someone over 50
you
metres.
said $1,000, man.
No, not at your dinner table. At your table 6
at
months
my
ago,
table.
when
At
I
my
tried when I tried to get the bet happening, right? And now everyone's interest is peak. I hear that Joel's like, I might start training and race Cameron instead of you. So now he thinks he can beat his wife. So let's find the real bet.
So let me just clarify. On Sunday, when we're at your joint,
Yes,
you said to me,
I don't care who made the bet. I've taken it.
let me finish. The story was that I bet $1,000 that I could beat anyone over XY distance.
I don't remember it that way, but that's all right.
And then it was like, I'll beat Charlotte on 100 meters. So I'll take that bet. And you stood up, put your hand out, and said, fucking oath, I'll take that.
Doesn't matter. We're on. I'm just glad
Just wanna
someone
clarify
finally
that-
took the bet.
Just want to clarify that there was no sort of leaning you towards the way I
Doesn't
wanted.
matter. You haven't taken advantage of me, Chris.
Your bluster was there. I called you on your bullshit.
There's
Simple
no
as that.
issues, mate. There's
Good,
no
good,
issues
good.
with it.
No.
I
There's no
thrive
issues.
off it.
Mate, I'm happy if
It's
I
a
lose.
huge-
I'm happy if I win. If I lose, you get $1,000 and you prove your point.
Thomas
if I
is-
win,
yeah.
we get to go to Muse and Charlotte's 500 richer. As simple as that.
The thing is...
No, you said you take him to Muse if it was $2,000.
No, he didn't.
No, I said 1,000.
No, he said 1,000 a muse.
I said I'll give
You're
it to Charlotte.
changing the story.
No, he's not.
I
There's
said-
no way you can go and eat at Muse for $500, brothers.
So hang on. Anyway, Thomas is right in a way
Win-win
that...
for him, win-win
Listen,
for me.
Thomas is right in a way where he's probably not a healthy way to live, where the only way you can get up and get motivated to do something is to place a bet on it, right? So I won't argue with you there. But the flip side of that argument, if we are going to turn into a serious conversation, is if you're struggling for motivation or if you're struggling for a bit of get up and go, find something to compete against. Find whether it's yourself or whether it is an imaginary figure, you invent the competition. Look, I think we've had this discussion before, and it might not be on here. You can't run off competitiveness and you can't run off hate for somebody else for long. You can use it as a short-term motivation. Oh, I hate that guy, so I'm going to beat that guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it can work in the short term. And if it's all you got for that second, right? Now, You can look as deep as you want.
I still believe it's not healthy.
We can get as philosophical as you want, but I've been screaming on here, on air, for as long as possible for someone to challenge me to something because I want to change my health. And if it's going to cost $1,000 for me to have something to aim for, because I couldn't get myself out of bed, mate. I couldn't get myself to go for a run. I couldn't get myself to do it. 2 days ago, I hit the punching bag for fucking 40 minutes, and now I can't move. But I wouldn't have done it. Right?
I understand.
If you're at that level where you can't find anything, find something, right? And that
I understand that.
not a way to live long term,
Yes.
but short term inspiration. You can't live off revenge. We've got to forgive and forget. But when someone does you wrong, that short term burst it gives you where you're going to go, I'm going to prove this guy wrong, can be a very fucking powerful tool. But early on in my career, that's what I thrived off, mate. The leaderboard. You got a leaderboard on the system for a reason. Tell me that reason is for people who are born competitive to push themselves harder.
Absolutely.
So
it does not need to get to a gambling.
Doesn't need to, but if you want
No,
to.
because a gambling is about doing it for different reason. Trying to do it so that you are better than somebody else, fine. But it's not the reason. The reason is, okay, this person here is ahead of me by 2 points. Is it possible for me? And how far am I from the top? That's a different thing. But when it turns into a Rocky Balboa kind of thing, and you've been filming yourself over the last 3 days.
Because it's funny, mate. It's funny. Is it not funny? Come on.
Did you put it on social media?
I'll rate no.
You didn't.
No.
You didn't put it.
No.
So who gets it then?
I'm turning it into a documentary at the end.
Oh, is it?
I've even got the filmmaker. No, I'm recording it because it's either going to go one way or two. It's going to go one or two ways, mate. It's going to be the greatest sporting story of our time, or it's going to be a fucking tragedy. And either way, it's going to make a great story.
No, but
right?
but
I'll race Charlotte for free, but he put up $1,000, so why would I do it for free?
I don't need to go to hospital and see you for that.
You won't have to, mate. Let me show you.
I didn't put that figure in. You put that figure in. I called your bet. Don't put
Mate,
it around the other way around.
I'm disappointed in you. How many hours have you had me on your tennis court for? And did you need an ambulance? Did I struggle? 100%.
almost need an ambulance.
Yeah, did you need an ambulance?
I almost did.
100%. How many hours did I chop at trees on your land for? Did I need an ambulance? I can run 100 metres. I can run the first 50 very fucking fast.
Anyway, mate, listen, I am not a coach in running, but all I say is I am a coach in ego. And your ego was inflamed to
my ego knows exactly where it's
guilt on Sunday, and that's what I meant.
Nah.
It's not about...
My right knee is saying to my ego, you fuckwit. My ego is saying to my right knee, toughen up, princess. So don't worry.
But
They both know exactly where each other's at.
But seriously, mate, in between...
Text message I sent through
Which one?
on the YouTube, how to strap your knee.
I've Googled sprint training for fat blokes.
Seriously, man, in between, when the signals goes from your knee to your brain, it went through your wallet, it says, mate, poor me. I'm telling you, you're going to have to learn to live a life where you don't need to gauge yourself against others. That's all I'm saying.
You've taken it about...
is about gauging yourself against yourself.
You've taken
we
about...
don't need others, mate.
You've taken it about 14 layers too deep.
It's one layer.
No, it's an excuse for me to get fit. It's an excuse for me to get healthy, and it's an excuse for me to win.
He is excused to get fit.
I'll win for free.
Darling, Crystal, I will shout you a beautiful restaurant in the city worth $1,000 if you can help me lose 10 kilos, or maybe not for you, all right, 100 kilos between now and Christmas. So,
as long as she keeps cooking, I'll lose weight because I won't. I take that back. It got me drunk. I get what you're saying, mate, but it's one of the rare times I'm going to disagree with you. I'm doing it for a laugh, and I'm doing it.
One of the rare times this last hour. I get it.
No. This isn't about a deeper life struggle, mate. It's not about comparing myself to others. I think I can run. I want to race somebody, and I'm doing it. That's really, and I know it might be the boring thing, but it's actually that simple, mate. I'm not going to get any life significance out of it. I don't think it's a good thing for anybody that a bloke who's as out of shape as me and is on all these medications might win a race. That's not good for anybody, right?
Listen, mate, I don't care about you.
Good.
I'm thinking, what if my daughter runs against him and then afterwards he falls, he has a heart attack and lost $1,000? How does she feel for the rest of her life?
Well, she'll have $1,000 to help my medical expenses.
I'm just thinking, how would she live with herself for the rest of her life?
She should talk to the bloke who made the bet on her behalf.
Mate, no. You putting people into predicaments that are
now
too
I'm
tough
getting-
for them, mate.
You called the bet. I took it. You called. I will beat Charlotte over 1,000 metres. You called it.
I'll bet you
100
another
meters.
1,000 I don't die. How does that sound? Right? Because you're all death riding me, and can you stop?
Hang on,
It's
so
You have
starting
to
to
do that because
concern.
now he's going to walk the 100 meters.
This is actually the dictionary definition of death riding. Can you touch wood, you bastards?
You
Oh,
don't die during the race or at all.
You're a
oi,
prick.
hey.
You're a prick.
Let's look at this. You want to do it on the Arvo after the first day of the conference. How good is the second 2 days of the conference going to be if I've won that race? How good is that going to be? Right. Okay, mate, everyone can get... Because I usually cop shit at them for being as sexy as I am at the moment. I'll go,
Listen,
mate, go talk to Charlotte.
Now that you've done this, I'm going to have 2 manuals. One in case you win.
One's first aid.
I had a first aid manual.
Yeah, that inspire without ego thing, mate. That's out the window if I win this race. Don't worry.
Oh, man. I just want to make it clear. You called the bet.
You took it. Yeah, well,
I
mate.
took it. You
So
called
I
it.
enabled you
I'll
to
beat
be-
Charlotte over 200 metres. And
200. It's
Okay.
100.
We did, now, let's do it between us here now.
Okay.
Why did you refuse to take on the $2,000 bet?
Family. I just think pissing up $1,000 against the wall might be okay. $2,000.
So
is a
you
bit-
think you're going to piss...
he knows he's going to lose.
No, it's more. I know.
I'm just asking. I'm just trying to understand.
there's-
So if you were so certain, why not 10,000?
I've spent $1,000 on worse. I haven't spent $2,000 on worse. Right. So I've pissed up $1,000, mate. I've pissed $1,000 up in a pokey room before. So $1,000, and it hasn't happened for a long, long time. Let me asterisk that comment with that. I don't play them anymore, but I have, and I did, and I just think $2,000 is stupid. I think, look, to a lot of people, they're going to be going, these guys, they drink cheese and eat wine, they're throwing around $1,000, and who do they think they are? It's still a lot of fucking money.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of money, and I don't take
It's
it
nothing
lightly.
for you, man. Nothing for you.
Fucking calm down. But the other part is, I think I'm going to win the fucking thing, so why not? I'm not stupid to
And I'll
go.
add to that. This is one of the reasons for me, life is about experiences and about experiences with mates. So if I do win, I'd rather be able to rub the salt into the wound at Muse, eating a nice meal on your money, and Charlotte still gets paid. And mind you, it's
When I win, I'm
your
going to.
family, Charlotte and Joel, Thomas and Veronique, me and myself, myself and Rita. So the 8 of us at Muse on your $500.
The money's-
It's going to be a little bit more, obviously, out there.
The money's probably going to get spent.
Make
with
it
this.
with $500 with 8 people. Are you serious?
Don't worry, I'm going to donate. And if I win, I promise to donate the winnings to the Worldwide Fund for Cam. And because I'm a charitable
So I'll
bloke.
supplement.
Which
the
is
bill at Muse.
Gosford Hospital in
Private, baby,
the
private.
cardiac department.
It's 100 metres. What are you people thinking? How big a heart attack can you
You
have?
don't walk 100 metres.
Crazy Johns went for a stress test when he was 50. He went for a stress test, and 2 days later he was running in Bondi, and he receives a call to let him know there's no problem with his stress test, and then he dies. I'm telling you, man. There are things that sometimes we need to.
So we're not supposed
know
to
when you
exercise
can't-
now?
No, I'm saying there are things that we need to accept that we no longer can do.
Well, I'm here to tell you.
And so sometimes calling on bets, you look at Charlotte, mate, built for speed, faster than just
Greyhound, mate.
faster
rides
than
a
anybody
horse.
else in our family, and just slower than Alex by just a touch. And Joe, that was stupid.
That's not
you would
stupid,
take
mate.
that bet against me? Yeah, okay.
No.
You know, it's debatable.
So now you're
But-
defying physics, mate. I'm 6'2". One of my strides is 2 of hers. As long as I get off the start line okay, I'm ahead by 10 metres over 50. Look, you can doubt me all you want. I actually fucking love it. And I appreciate your concern for my health. I think you're way too anxious over things that, if I'm going to die tomorrow, I've got the coin in my pocket, mate. I would rather die doing that bet because
No,
that's
that's-
camp. That's
that's
a fucking
stupid.
great. No, it's a fucking great way to go out, mate.
Here's the question.
It's a great way to
Here's
go
the
out.
question. When your mate's telling you what do, you still have the ego to just go
You let
for
me
it.
take the bet on the weekend.
No, I sat.
You're only trying to stop me
I
now.
sat there. I watched the two of you. I'm
Yeah.
going. These
You
guys.
let
are
me take
fucking-
the bet.
These guys are fucking brothers.
You let
I
me
can't
take the
believe-
bet.
No, I said to you, are you stupid?
You're grilling me now, but there was no grilling on Sunday. Just sat there. So did Charlotte. Just
see
sat
now
there.
how it works?
No.
Did you pay attention to me on Sunday? No, you didn't. On Sunday, it was all about you, man. When I
Listen to
said,
this.
Cam, you're stupid. Who said, no, nobody can, right?
All right, watch it.
That's stupid, man.
Mate, we all need a laugh in our life, and if I go out doing this, it's
We-
going to make a great tombstone.
I get it.
Yeah.
But if something happens to you, it's not a laugh we all get.
Oh, you should.
If you said anybody sells more house than me in that same area than me that month, yeah, I'll bet. Made very good bet.
Because I'm not listing anything at the moment.
No, in the same area as you.
I appreciate your concern.
Yeah, it's nice you say you don't list anything, but you've done still the last this last quarter over $200,000, right? So it's not bad in a little area like Mount Druitt.
Mount Druitt's in the grand final on Sunday. Go
Hey,
Penrith.
Penrith.
Yeah, go Penrith. No.
So who do you think is going to win, boys?
Who I think and who is going to win? Two different things. I want Penrith to win.
You think the
but I
Storm's
think
going to do it?
Storm's Mate, the way they played.
The way they
Canberra,
played, that's grand final.
Mate,
yeah.
they were mate,
Out of this world one day.
They were all just beasts on fire, mate. I just at it the whole 30 minutes.
So your rugby league head has to say Melbourne, but yeah.
Johan.
No. You got to look at there's a whole heap of things. Penrith won the comp in 2003. In 2003, John Lang was the coach and Marty Lang was the front rower. In 2020, we've got Ivan Cleary as the coach and Nathan Cleary as the halfback. In 2003, Penrith were full of 20-year-olds that had never won anything in the senior grade before. Most of them, it was their first or second year in first grade. In 2020, Penrith are full of 20-year-olds. It's their first and second year in first grade. In 2003, the Penrith side that won the comp had won all the lower grades with the same team for the last 5 or 6 years. In 2020, the Penrith team have all played together as juniors and won all the comps for the last 5 or 6 years. In 2003, they had a barnstorming Fijian second rower play on the left side called Tony Pulatua. In 2020, they've got a barnstorming Fijian second rower called Viliami Kikau. In 2003, they were playing the Roosters, who'd been the top of the comp for a lot of years and were expected to win and win quite comfortably because they're our most professional team. In 2020, they're playing the Melbourne Storm, who have been the top of the comp for the last decade and are expected to win most comfortably. The parallels between the 2003 Panthers and the 2020 Panthers are
Identical.
too many to write off as sheer coincidence.
Put $1,000 on it.
And the other thing about it is now back to a pure football sense is Melbourne have lost grand finals before because they've been in a lot of them. One of them they lost by 40 points. So they got the fear of losing a grand final. Those kids that are playing for Penrith don't have that fear because they've never lost one. They've never been in one. And they're playing fearless at the moment. They didn't play well.
They'll put everything on the line to win.
They didn't play well. They were about 60%, if that, against South last week. And South in the second half played at probably 95%. Then they were probably at 85 to 90% in the first half. It's just that Penrith defended them very well. So, you know, if you're going to bet your house, to be safe, you'd say...
Betting his house.
If you're going to bet your house, to be safe, you'd say Melbourne. But I don't like Cameron Smith. I think he's got a lot owed to him, and Karma's going to be a bitch, and his last ever game will have Penrith win. That's my call.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. There's a lot of facts and figures in that, so yeah, absolutely, Cam. Yeah, it makes sense, mate.
Who wants a bet?
I don't know, but by our next podcast, boys, two things going to happen. We will know definitely the winning horse at the Melbourne Cup. So if you want to bet, you better tell me the name of the horse.
I'm not a betting man.
And the other thing, we will know about whether America got a new president.
How good is that?
Right? So why don't we just have a bit of a laugh? Who do you think? But not who you going for? Because we're neutral, right?
Trump will get back in.
For exactly the same reasons I just said about Penrith, Trump will get back in. Everything's doing exactly the same thing that it did in 2016.
Okay, I'm going for Biden. Okay.
I want Biden to get
No.
but I think Trump.
I am going Biden.
You got the news in front of you. Giuliani was going to come out. Rudy Giuliani was going to come out today with a massive expose on the Russian stuff with Biden. I don't know whether he has
no,
yet
I don't
or
have
not,
the news
but-
in front of me, but I know that Giuliani has been caught in a hotel room by Borat, who got an actress posing as his daughter, interviewing Giuliani, and then taking him to her room. And the picture that they have is Giuliani with his hands in his pants, lying down on the bed.
Oh no, we're talking Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat.
Yeah,
He's
and with Borat, Sacha Baron,
Oh no,
Baron with Sacha Baron running into the room and saying, "What are you doing with
Sexual
my
relations
daughter?
with
With my
that
daughter,
woman."
she's underage." Anyway, so that's what's out for the moment, boys.
Oh no, I can't now.
I think whoever wins, I've been trying to do a bit at night. I always listen to a podcast before I go to bed, but Joe Rogan's been a bit slow in putting his podcast out, so I've actually dived into.
Yeah, well, now it's owned by Spotify, right?
Now I've dived into the American politics just to find, and I've been listening to both sides, and I think Trump is mental, but we're in a world of fucking shit if Biden gets in as well. And either way, it's going to be very entertaining. I hope it doesn't affect the Carryong and Barrera bubble, because in the interest of good culture, that's all I'm really concerned about. But it's very it's insane how diehard they are on each side over there. But the fact that it's those two fighting it out for a control of the most powerful nation on the planet is fucking unbelievable, bro. Like, Trump's mental and he's a liar, and Biden is corrupt as they come, and be shocked if he doesn't have Alzheimer's. So the two best minds in the planet, one paints himself orange, one can't remember his own name. They're the two best candidates we've got to run for
I think that the winner will be fake news versus news, full stop, or reality. And I think that's going to be the winner.
Who do you think's going to win, Biden?
I think that the outcome is going to show whether using the technology, fake news has won, or news.
So who's fake news? You think if Biden wins, fake news has won, or the other way around?
No, listen, that is again something that I would say fake news from what I've been looking is Trump. Trump is nothing else but us boys. He is just a salesman. However, he's a salesman without culture, no scruples. And because he's got no scruples, he is going to go out there and tell lies, spread anything that can work, push any button in order to get his stuff. I think the first election showed people that trying to push someone from reality television to the running a country is not going to work. Well, now they know. And I think it was telling roughly the intelligence of America. I think that this election is going to tell you whether America is that intelligent. Yeah. And it's going to tell you whether America is worthy of leading the rest of the world. Because right now, boys, we're sitting here, we're having wine, we're thinking and singing, drinking. But Australia, as intelligent as we are, Australia is doing some exercise, maritime exercise, naval exercise, with America leading it in the China Sea.
With India and Japan.
So it's telling us, really, the three of us are sitting here, we've got no idea. We've got some of our leaders up there because they need to be a puppet to follow whatever agenda it is. We're going to have to really think beyond that.
But we won't, because of military might and money. The thing about it is, I mean, Trump might be what he is, but the people who are burning down and doing all the protests and that at the moment and burning down the city for no apparent reason are the Biden people. So,
how do you know that?
Because they're after 3 bottles of wine, you're going to try and get me on a technicality.
Who told you? What is the source of news?
Oh, no, it's all over the news. It's
You got no fucking
don't call me-
idea.
Well,
just
I
as
haven't
much
written
as
down
I've got no
facts.
fucking idea. No, I'm sorry, man.
They're the people on the left.
We've got no idea.
Black Lives Matter and all that bullshit is not the Trump
We've
side of
got
politics.
no idea.
Right?
No, we got no idea.
I
This
agree
is
with you.
the
We
thing.
shouldn't be following people blindly into anything. I'm not saying
No.
follow America. I think
We-
we're doomed either way. If they're the most powerful nation in the world and they're running things, we're fucked. Right? The problem is China is now trying to be the most powerful nation on the planet, and that's why the military exercise
Cameron,
is happening.
You're not answering my question.
You said we're going to have fun with this.
What
You've just
is-
taken all the
what
fun
is-
out of it. You're gonna fuck you and your fun.
You make no. You came up with all this shit, and
That's
about
fun.
about 200 million people are listening to us right now.
Good. Or two.
No, because roughly between 36
She can hear me, Rita. Can you hear me?
because only 36 million to 40 million have voted. There's another 200 million listening to us right now.
Right. Okay.
And right now, as we speak, there are wine and wisdom T-shirt being sold all over America.
Vote Dan Andrews. That's what I'm saying. He clearly knows what he's got going on.
And I objected to the last logo of the Wine and Wisdom T-shirt because your head was way bigger than ours, and so
That's the ego, mate.
But
That's genetics.
this is my thing.
We should get a wine and wisdom shirt that says "Race you over 50." And then we'll just go down the main street racing old people because they're over 50. Yeah, we'll get.
Ratio over 50? Or
Right, so that's what I said. No, I said.
I was having a conversation with my in-laws not so long ago, and,
Trying to take
and-
all the
and
fun
they were
out of it.
having some information, and I said, "How do you know that what you're saying is right?" They said, "Well, because I said just as much as I don't know whether what I know is right. We live in a world
You
where
don't
the
know what you
internet
don't know.
rules,
Yeah.
and the internet tells you what it wants to tells you. You need a very high level of intelligence to decipher it. Unfortunately, most of us, we don't really have that intelligence to decipher.
I turned off Sky News a couple of days ago because I try and listen to what they're saying, and I know they're very liberal biased, but they're also very Trump biased. And then they started pulling out Fox News as their source of evidence. So as soon as I saw that, I turned it off. Crystal said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, they've lost me because they're source of evidence." But I didn't make any grand statements that I'd bet my life on, mate. We're just making predictions here, and
No, but he is a problem, boys. And I know it's a little bit late for us to be serious. The elections in the last 4 years has changed the way our children are going to be living. Our children have learned over the last 4 years who you are does not matter. Who the lies, if you can make your lies become belief, then it's important. That's what we've done in the last 4 years. We're going to go for another 4 years. Then we're going to have a guy. Mate, he doesn't give a shit about anybody else. Beside his children, nobody else is there. Because if you really understood the hidden place into a president like Donald Trump, you will know this guy has lived a life where he had to please his dad. And what he's managed to do was he's managed to totally shut down who he is truly inside, to embrace who he should be in order to please his dad, Fred. And his brother, Freddie, didn't do that. His brother, Freddie, actually died of the consequence of alcohol and whatever repercussion, mainly because he tried to forget all these things and didn't matter. However, Donald has managed to conquer that. And when in his late teens, he realized that Dad actually is loving me because I'm doing all this shit and it's working. And whatever I do, it doesn't really matter. The old man's going to put money to hide all my mistakes. He's lived all the life like this. And this is the problem. The leadership in America leads Australia. It affects Australia. I'm sorry.
doesn't affect Carry On, mate.
And if it affects Australia, it's going to affect the way we think and live, you know? And I have no problem. I think that there are many things that I understand Donald Trump. But the values the man shows is wrong. You don't. So this is the question for me. Does the means justify
The end.
Does
Here's my
the end justify the means?
Here's my question for you. What the fuck can we do about it? And which is nothing. The answer is nothing. I'll answer it for you. We can't affect the American election here because we don't vote. And thus, is it worth losing any sleep over? Because you worry about what you can control and what you can't control.
No,
Where I laugh at you
agree
about,
with you.
about
I agree with you because you're thinking like an ant. But
fuck
if
off. How can we?
but if 21 million ants decided no, America doesn't tell us how we live our life.
Yeah, that's Australia.
America does not have to tell us because a dickhead wants to use China when now it's been found yesterday he's got a bank account in China. And I'm telling you, if
Very good
anything
interest
happens
rates
with
in
him,
China.
he's going to leave America to go to Russia where he's got asylum. There's no problem. So we are nothing.
I'm not
Are we
talking.
going to really have and be okay with our government running our country based on what a crazy dude's doing over
No,
there?
but they're separate problems. You're
They're
talking
not
about,
separate.
No, you're
They're
talking
not
about the
separate.
American election.
If he says,
we need to stop
if
following.
America says we do this, we're going to go.
You know what else is going to happen before our next podcast? Just to change
I'll
the
agree
subject.
between the both of you. Yes, we can change it with.
I don't think we should
with
follow
our
America
government.
blindly.
No, you're 100% right. But our government need to have a leader within our government that says Australia is Australia. We aren't America. We will do what we believe. And their policies on such.
We're getting way off. This was meant to be a fun conversation about a stupid bet, but now that we're on it, one thing I've noticed is Channel 9 is extremely anti-Trump. Every headline they run, every editorial they do, every show they do is anti-Trump. I go, why are they investing in so much time and effort and money into bagging Donald Trump? Like we have a choice in the American election. If their goal is to get us to stop following the American government, that's fine. But our media is buying in over here into left and right and Biden and Trump like it's going to affect the votes over here. And that bit I don't get.
Cam, you ever stopped?
No.
Okay.
Especially not over 100.
Then stop now. Because if you realize it has nothing to do with our media takes money from wherever it comes. And right now, as of today, the Trump campaign's got roughly $60 million left in their coffin, where the Biden campaign's got $177 million. Okay? So when you have that kind of money and you can buy the ad in Australia to really get guys like us to really think certain way, it's got nothing to do with Channel 9, man. It's the ad.
Well, that's what I was trying to work out, and you've just answered it.
You have
Thank
a look. Why is it that 2 days ago, Channel 9's running an hour-long shit against Trump? Why is it that it's following up with next week?
Yeah. That's what I was asking.
It's all paid by ads.
I started looking up who owned Channel 9 and I was trying to put a combination that way.
Channel
But
9 is
advertising.
it's like us, mate.
Good job.
Commercial business.
Yeah, well, if anyone wants to pay us 107, I just want to say out loud, if anyone wants to pay us $177 million to run their agenda on this show, I'll do it. All right, I don't know about the other two, but
We take 70 million.
we're willing to negotiate. We'll start at 100. No, not for $1 million. I'm not selling myself for $1 million, but for $200 million.
Anyway, boys, it was just about a small bet. I hope you're going to win.
Just the other thing that's going to happen before we do our next podcast. Hang
Are
on.
you looking at him or me?
No, because I really don't care.
He doesn't want me to die.
I don't want him to have
Before our next podcast, the lovely Crystal Wilson will have turned 48. So happy birthday, Crystal, for next Tuesday. You don't look a day over 52. I love you, darling.
She's turning 48.
No, she'll be 33, I think. But
Fucking full of shit.
mate, she come to me this morning and goes, I'm getting old. I went, get fucked.
We all
33.
know
You
you're
can't say that to your wife.
I do.
And
33.
anyway,
33.
The good thing is,
Happy birthday,
he's
darling. That's
invited
all.
me to a party, and I said I couldn't come. Did he invite you, Chris?
No,
I just want to let you know, man.
this was, he invited you, not Crystal.
Oh, you can't.
Crystal, I would have
You
wanted
can't shut no.
But you started that, all right? Anyway, we're going to go to a party, and I think it's happening at your place next weekend.
My house?
Yeah.
Done. So I've just got to speak to Rita about that.
All right, good on you, boys.
Peace
See you
out. Thank you, boys. Well
See you
done.
next Sunday at Chris' place.
Bye.
See ya.